What's going on, guys? It's Rob from Heroes Avenue, and I wanted to end 2021 on kind of a casual video. Apologize if you hear my son playing in the background, but one thing I wanted to talk about was my top 5 superhero moments in 2021. Now, this is gonna vary from person to person. Now, if you wanted to rank the movies themselves, I'm sure a lot of the rankings are gonna look kind of the same since we didn't get that many superhero movies. But I'm thinking if we talk about the top 5 moments, you may get a little bit of variation. So I'm curious to know what your guys' top 5 moments are. Definitely type them down in the comment below. Let me know them before you watch my list. That way we can kind of compare and contrast later on. But anyways, let's get into my top 5 moments. I'm gonna start off with number 5, and that's gonna be the ShangChi bus fight scene. Now, there's a lot of things I love about this moment because I didn't know a lot about the character ShangChi before going into the movie, and I think just being from the Bay Area, San Francisco, seeing a lot of our hometown monuments and neighborhoods in there was really awesome, but it just really felt like a Jackie Chan type action movie, and I thought it was a great type of action sequence to start off the movie with. So there was Simu Liu, who became a star, and he's really fun to watch and interact with on Twitter. He's a really funny guy. So combine that with a character that you're really surprised about, didn't know much about, and just seeing him really kick some ass in this bus stop fight scene, I think was awesome. So that's definitely my top 5, or my number 5 on this list. And number 4 is gonna probably surprise people. Number 4 was actually the final fight scene with Icarus in Eternals. Now, this movie got a lot of criticism when it came out. There was a lot of controversy about the ratings of this movie and everything, but I think I'm one of the few people who really enjoyed this movie. But in particular, the moment of the fight scene between Icarus was really interesting because it was like a Justice League level fight scene. I mean, obviously there's a lot of comparisons with the Justice League, but seeing the characters unite and fight was just like a really cool moment. And to see them fight against the evil Superman type character was even more interesting because the evil Superman trope is really prevalent, especially in the past few years, but it doesn't make it any less interesting. I thought that was really cool. Now, combine that with the awesome cinematography in the movie itself, and I just thought this was such an entertaining moment and a great way to cap off this movie that introduced us to these characters that not many of us know about, but is gonna be integral into expanding this MCU. Now, number 3, this is definitely one of my favorite moments because it changed a lot about what was portrayed originally back in 2017. And if you guys know what I'm talking about, it's of course from Zack Snyder's Justice League. This particular moment is when we first see Darkseid face against the old gods, and you see Darkseid come, you see the ship open up, and where it was originally Steppenwolf in the 2017 version, we see Darkseid in one of the most epic style action sequences in any comic book movie. The history lesson scene, of course, we get it expanded a little bit more in Zack Snyder's Justice League, and just seeing Darkseid replacing Steppenwolf, how is the CGI even better than it was in 2017 when the CGI team had so little time to work on it? So that's one. Darkseid's look, amazing. You see his hand grab sand off of the earth, and just it pans up and you can see Darkseid in all of his glory. And it's actually not Darkseid, it's young Uxas. Such an epic scene, and just gave me chills when watching it. Now, I got an early screener this year. I forget how I got it, but I was eligible to watch the movie a little bit early compared to some people, so that just made it even more incredible to watch. I still watch this movie over and over to this day. Yeah, just seeing Darkseid. There's so many moments in Zack Snyder's Justice League that are just absolutely mind-blowing, but this has got to be one of my favorite for sure. Now, number 2, not surprisingly, is going to come from SpiderMan No Way Home. And while there are so many fan favorite moments in this movie, including the incredible finale and the action sequences and the villain performances, oh my gosh, they're so amazing. But my favorite moment My favorite moment in this movie was when Andrew Garfield enters the MCU. And why do I say Andrew Garfield in particular? Well, it's because obviously we see Ned open up this portal, and a lot of the theater, I kind of knew it had to be one of the Spider-Mans, but a lot of the theater didn't know, my older brother included, didn't know that there was gonna be new Spider-Man entering the universe. And when you see him jump out of that portal, the theater is just literally in awe. So that's one of the coolest things about seeing movies on opening nights or opening weekends, is that you get that genuine shock value from the theater. Now, I also watched this movie a second time a little bit later on, like a week later, and the theater wasn't as shocked, but I still heard some oohs and ahs when Andrew Garfield walked in, and it's such a cool scene. He picks up right where he leaves off, and the interaction between the Filipino grandma and Zendaya and everything was just so funny. And if you're Filipino, like I am, I'm sure a lot of you can relate to just loving this scene because of how it portrays the Filipino grandma or mom. It's very accurate, actually, and just hearing Andrew Garfield and Peter, interact and say Lola, I should say Andrew Garfield and Tobey Maguire interact, was super fun to watch. And more so than the action itself, this was even more pleasing, just that moment of him finally jumping back in, because fans, especially me, I felt he got shortchanged in his previous movies, and I felt like he deserved and still deserves that trilogy movie. Now, my number one favorite moment, drum roll please, it is the Flash saving the entire Earth. Now, why the team at Warner Brothers and DC wanted to remove this originally from Justice League boggles my mind. Apparently there were stories that they couldn't understand it. They didn't understand why it was in the movie. So if you saw the 2017 version, they deleted this scene and put Flash saving 4 random characters and then, telling some jokes. But the coolest part about this scene is that you see Flash and the potential, just the potential for his power. It was hinted at earlier on in the movie that when he runs past the speed of light, some weird things happen with time, and that was a great way to set up this particular moment. He gets injured, the Justice League fail, and he stops time. Just the moment where he stops time, he puts his hand out, and not the Hans Zimmer score, but the Junkie XL score, Tom Hulkenberg score, kicks in, that kind of electric piano riff. I think it's a piano. Anyways, it's just so chilling. Like, you just tell yourself, oh my God, this is some amazing, amazing cinema right here. Flash, stopping time. You see half the Justice League get erased, but he starts running. You see time you see the world being put back together right under his feet. There is just something so magical about that moment. And again, spine-tingling moments. And I don't think it was a surprise that this was number one. And I think it's gonna be I think it was probably easy to tell if you were a fan of this channel that I was probably gonna put that one on top of my list. Lives rent-free in my head. So I'm curious to know what you guys had to say about your top 5 superhero moments in the comments down below. Now, other things, movies that weren't included really were Black Widow. Black Widow, I didn't think it was as bad a movie as a lot of people talked about. Thought it was pretty entertaining, but nothing really stood out that made it onto this list. Again, the Suicide Squad, not liked by a lot of people from our channel, but I enjoyed it. But on the rewatch value, there's nothing that really stands out to me as something epic that would make my top 5 list. Now, if we extend it to a top 10, yeah, I'm sure there's some things in there, but enjoyable movie, but something that obviously didn't make it to this list. Those were just some honorable mentions. But let me know what you think in the comments down below. Wanted to end it with 2021 with this casual video, just me talking to you guys and wishing you guys a happy new year. So if you did enjoy the video, please do like it and subscribe to our channel, and I will see you guys in 2022. Peace.